Hello, welcome to Yoga with Stephanie. We'll be doing a short, slow flow sequence geared towards setting your mind at ease, bringing some movement into your body, and hopefully making you feel a little bit more relaxed and at peace. Go ahead and come to easy seated pose if you're not there already. Deepen the breath. Go ahead and close the eyes. Soften the face. Take full, steady inhales through the nose, filling the lungs to full capacity. Slow, steady exhales, letting go of all of your breath. Go ahead and bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the stomach. Focus on lengthening through the spine, sitting up nice and tall, but keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Notice as you fill your lungs to full capacity how the rib cage moves with your body and your breath. Set an intention for the rest of this practice. For myself, it is peace. I hope to feel peace within my soul, my body, my mind. So my intention for this class is to come into alignment with peace. Think about whatever the intention is that you set. What would that look like? How does it feel? Take a couple more breaths here. Go ahead and open your eyes. Bring the fingertips to the knees or to the floor next to your body. On your next inhale, bring your chin to your chest. Exhale, eyes towards the ceiling. Inhale, chin to chest. Exhale, eyes to the ceiling. Come back through center. And release the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Try to keep the right shoulder down. Subtle movement here as if to shake your head yes. Then bring your chin to your chest. Gaze back towards the middle. Left ear over towards the left shoulder. Try to keep the left shoulder down. Subtle movements here as if to say yes. Back, chin to chest, and gaze through center. Return right ear over towards the right shoulder. Place the right hand on top of the head. Maybe walk the left fingertips away from the body. And release. Back to chin to chest, and then through center. Left ear towards the left shoulder. Place the left hand on the head to increase the stretch. Walk the fingertips away from the body. Release. Back to chin to chest, then come back through center. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. 3 breaths here. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. 1 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now inhale, lift the hands up overhead, setting up here. Right hand comes behind the right glute. Left hand comes to the top of the right thigh. On the next inhale, I want you to sit up nice and tall, lengthen through the spine. And on the exhale, deepen the twist, gaze over the right shoulder. Now hold the pose, but not your breath. Gaze towards the center of the room, and then over the left shoulder. All the way back to the right shoulder. Both hands come up overhead. Setting up for the other side, right hand comes to the top of the left thigh. Left hand comes behind the left glute. On the inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, deepen the twist, gaze behind the left shoulder. Hold the pose, but not the breath. Shift the gaze to the front of the room, and then over the right shoulder, all the way back to the left. Bring both hands up overhead. Release the hands to the mat. Walk the right hand away from the body, bend the elbow. Left hand comes up overhead, gaze towards the fingertips. Now slight press back here, pressing the left hand back, opening up through the chest. Release the right shoulder if it's lifted. And then reach over with the left hand to the right side. Release the left hand all the way to the ground. Try to keep the glutes pressing into the mat. Walk the left hand away from the body as far as you can. You'll feel the stretch here from about the middle finger all the way to the glute. Relax the body. We're going to lift the left hand up 3 times on the inhales. Inhale, lift. Gaze follows the hand. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Walk both hands through center, coming into a forward fold. Now spread the fingers, or the fingers wide apart, and the hands as well. Little sways from side to side. So really all we're focusing on is releasing tension in the body. Here we're releasing tension in the low back, maybe even the shoulders as we begin to move. And then find stillness. Walk the hands in towards the body, sitting up nice and tall. Left hand comes over to the left side, walk it away from the body. Left shoulder stays away from the ears. Right hand comes up overhead. Again, gentle press back here, opening the chest up to the sky. Holding for a breath or so, and then reach with the right hand over to the left side. You want to make sure that chest is nice and open. If you start to close off here, open yourself back up. Keep the right glute down. Now release the right hand to the ground. Walk it away from the body as far as you can. Press the glutes back. We're going to hold here for about another breath or so. And then lift 3 times. Inhale, lift. Gaze follows the hand. Exhale, lower. Lift. Lower. Last one, lift, lower. Come to the fingertips, walk both hands forward. Hands a little diagonal, sway from side to side. Wonderful. Find stillness, walk the hands towards the body. Sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath here. Chin to chest. Gently roll from side to side. I hear my kids moving around upstairs. Nobody wanted to join me for yoga today. We're going to rock forward, coming into tabletop position. Getting ready to move through cat and cow pose. One of my favorite poses, and something that you should do just about every day. Go ahead and rock forward. Setting up for tabletop, you want your knees underneath your hips, hands underneath the shoulders. You want to spread the fingertips wide apart. So in tabletop, you want a neutral spine. For most of us, we have a little curve in the low back, but a neutral spine would be, think about a nice straight line, no curve. So you're pressing up through the low back if you have that natural curve. So on the next inhale, drop the belly button towards the mat, spread the hips wide apart, gaze comes forward for cow pose. And then exhale, chin to chest, round through the shoulders, pressing up through the shoulder blades, allowing the crown of the head to track towards the mat, maybe even curling the toes under here. Back to cow. Maybe adding an underbite into your mouth here. And back to cat. One more. Back back to neutral table. Bring the right hand, fingertips pointing to the outer edge of the mat, left hand as well. Little sways from side to side, stretching out the forearms and the wrists. Then find some stillness. Bring the right hand fingertips back towards the body if this feels good for you. Bring the left hand into a fist. Gentle rocks forward and back here. Bring the right hand into the fist, left hand palm down, fingertips towards the body, gentle rocks forward and back. Now my favorite hand stretch, bring the left hand to a fist, right hand palm face down, fingertips back towards the body, and then little rocks forward and back. This is a great counter because in yoga, a lot of times we are standing or putting a lot of pressure on our wrists. Other side, left hand palm down, fingertips towards the body, gentle rocks forward and back. Hand comes back to the mat, setting up for downward facing dog. Curl the toes under, begin to lift the knees nice and slow, sending the hips back and then up. Keep the knees bent, adjust as needed. And pedal the dog or walk the dog, pedaling the knees out. Bringing one heel close to the mat, bending the opposite knee. Moving nice and slow. And then find stillness, making that upside down V shape. Press into the ball mounds of the feet into the mat, pull yourself forward into plank pose. And then back, downward facing dog. Walk the feet to the hands, nice and slow. Feet are a little bit wider than hips width. Clasp opposite elbows, bend the knees pretty deeply here, sway from side to side. Again, releasing that low back, coming into ragdoll. Release the fingertips to the mat. Go ahead and bring the hands to the shins, coming into a halfway lift. Nice long spine here, and then fold. Inhale, rise, bringing both arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And fold. Rise. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step back into plank. Lower onto the knees, bend the elbows, lower all the way to the belly. Here we're going to bring the left cheek to the mat, right hand stays underneath the right shoulder, left hand comes out to T, palms face down. Begin to press into the right hand, rolling up onto the left hip. I like to keep my right leg bent here. The right hand can stay where it is, come up overhead, or reach around the small of the back, just opening up through the chest. Take a breath here. Now back to the belly. This time, right cheek comes to the mat, right arm comes out to T, left hand comes underneath the left shoulder. Press into the left hand, rolling up onto the right hip. Left hand can stay where it is, come up overhead, or wrap around the small of the back. Bring the hand back to the mat and roll back to the belly. Forehead comes to the mat, arms along your sides, palms face down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, lifting the arms up off of the mat. Engage the core, and then lift for locust. Hold for 3 breaths. And lower. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Lift up into either baby cobra or full cobra. Curl the toes under, Send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pedal the knees again. Right leg lifts, point the right toes. Lift the left heel nice and high. Lower the left heel. Bring the right knee in towards the chest. Shift the shoulders coming forward into plank. You want to pull that right knee up nice and high. And then back, three-legged dog. Release the right foot to the mat. Staying in downward facing dog. I just forgot to tuck in my shirt. Left leg lifts, point the left toes. Lift the right heel up nice and high. Lower the right heel. Left knee comes into the chest. Shift the shoulders coming forward into plank. Again, pick the knee up nice and high. Back to three-legged dog. Release the left foot to the mat. Pedal the knees. Right leg lifts. We're going to plant the right foot at the top part of the mat. Hug the knee into the chest. Shift the shoulders and then plant the right foot at the top of the mat. Here you want to stack the knee over the ankle. Come up to the fingertips, gaze forward. Keep the back heel lifted here. Release the left knee and lift right back up for 3. Once the leg is lifted again, go ahead and plant the left hand. Right hand comes up overhead. Gaze towards the right fingertips. Maybe even wraps around the small of the back. Release the right hand back to the mat. Come up to the fingertips. Slowly straighten the front leg. Lengthen through the spine here like we're in a halfway lift. And then fold, belly to thigh engagement. Back heel is still lifted. Walk the hands forward as you rebend the front knee. Step off of the back foot, coming about halfway up the mat. Toes pointed over to the left side. Straighten the right leg. Fingertips come to the mat, lengthen through the spine. And then fold. Rebend the front knee. Walk the hands forward again. And lift the back leg, coming into warrior 3. So starting with the fingertips on the ground, the left leg is straight, foot is flexed. Right knee is slightly bent. You can keep the hands on the ground the entire time, or lift one hand to the heart, and maybe the second. Breathe. And slowly bring the left foot to meet the right. Both hands come up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And fold. Plant the hands, step back into plank pose. Send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Hug the knee in. Shift the shoulders and plant the left foot at the top of the mat. Knee stacked over the ankle again. Come back up to the fingertips. Lengthen here. Keep the back heel lifted. Keep the back leg engaged. 3 pulses, lowering the right knee. Lift back up. Now, right hand plants. Left hand comes up overhead or wraps around the small of the back. Release. Back to the fingertips. Straighten the front leg. Lengthen through the spine like you're in the halfway lift. And then fold. Walk the hands forward, bending the front knee, stepping up with the right foot about halfway up the mat. Come up to the fingertips, lengthen through the spine. Fold. Stay connected to your breath. Walk the hands forward again. Slight bend in the left leg, grounding down through the left foot. Right leg lifts, right foot flexed. Come up to the fingertips. Then maybe one hand comes to the heart, and maybe the second. Coming into warrior 3. Right foot meets the left. Hands come up overhead. And fold. fold. Exhale, rise. Hands come to the heart. So, one of my favorite sequences I'm going to lead you through now. And I feel like it's a very fitting thing for us to think about, for us to do as a group of people. So, feet are about hips width. I think I'm going to face you is the best way to do it. Feet are about hips width. Ground down through the left foot first. Bring the hands to the heart. We're going to step back with the right about halfway, coming into Warrior One. So in Warrior One, the heel is down, and it's a lot like the pose that we just did. So the left knee is bent, the back heel is down, toes pointing over, the right toes are pointing over towards the right side. So the hips needs to try to be square to the top of the mat. It's never going to happen for most of us. So for me, this is my Warrior One. So this is where my hips naturally want to go, and I just bring them forward a little bit. Warrior One. Hands come up overhead, nice and strong. Embracing confidence, strength, ready for battle. Here we are. Take a deep breath here. Think about times in your life where you have felt strong, confident, secure. Then release the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingertips, open up through the chest. Here we open up, we become vulnerable, opening up our heart for connection. Slowly begin to straighten the front leg. As sometimes happens when we open ourselves up, we get hurt and we fall. Forward fold, keeping the hands bound. This is the time we turn inward. We remember who we are, who we want to be, and what we're rooted to in this world. Letting all else fall away, we loosen what binds us, letting go of what's holding us back, bringing our fingertips back to the ground, our starting point, remembering who we are. Slight bend in the stand or in the front leg. Lift the back foot. Once we know who we are, we can find freedom and take flight in Warrior Three. And then release the back foot, coming back into Warrior One. This cycle continues. We find our strength and our confidence. Bring the hands to the heart, step forward. Repeating on the other side, just like that. Step back with the left foot, right knee is stacked over the ankle. Left heel pressing into the ground, toes pointing over to the left side, both hands up overhead. Again, strength, confidence. You are a warrior. Beautiful, ready for battle. And then open yourself up, interlacing the hands. Chest becomes vulnerable, ready for connection. Slowly straighten the front leg, hinge at the waist and fall, giving yourself permission to be still, to rest, to turn inward, grounding yourself, letting go of everything that's holding you back, releasing the binds, bringing the hands back to the earth as you bend the front knee, reminding yourself of who you choose to be in this world, connecting to your identity. Lift, find freedom, and fly. Warrior Three. And the cycle continues, coming back into Warrior One. Hands to the heart, step forward. So I wanted this to be a short practice today, but I do want to end with some of my favorite transitioning or ending sequences. Go ahead and lay all the way back, hug the knees into the chest. So So this gentle movement here, we're hugging the knees in nice and tight, rocking from side to side. We're putting pressure on the low back. It feels like we're giving ourselves a hug and massaging out the low back at the same time. Now find some stillness, bring your chin to your chest, hug your knees in a little tighter. Open both arms out to T, palm face up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and then bring the knees close together again. Release both knees over to the left side. Keep both arms open to T. Try to keep the right shoulder pressing into the mat. Now bring the right hand over into the left hand by rolling up onto the left side. And then open back up. One more time, right hand into the left. Open back up. Bring both knees back in through center. Little wiggles here. Hug the knees in. Release both knees over to the right side. Left hand comes all the way over to the right. Open back up. One more time. Left hand to the right. Open back up. Hug the knees back in through center. Little rocks from side to side. Now, my next favorite spinal twist, a little different. Right knee hugs in, left leg goes long. Bring the left hand to the right shin. Right arm opens out to T, palm face up. You keep the right shoulder pressing into the mat. Then you slowly roll over onto the left hip, stacking right hip over left. And then gaze over the right shoulder. Most of the time, my back releases here. Take a couple of deep breaths. Back through center. Hug the left knee in. Right leg goes long this time. Left arm comes out to T, palm face up. Right knee hugs in nice and tight. Right hand, this is the left knee, not the right. Right hand comes to the left shin. Slowly roll over onto the right hip, stacking left over right, coming back into that spinal twist. Gaze either at the ceiling or over the left shoulder. Couple of breaths here. Back through center. Hug both knees in, giving yourself a nice big hug. Allowing for some gratitude and appreciation for making it onto your mat during this crazy time. And then slowly lowering into Shavasana, final resting pose, maybe spilling your drink, which has happened to me more than once in a yoga class. Go ahead and lay on your back. Bring the arms alongside the body, but palms face up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Relax the feet. Close the eyes. Deepen the breath. Think about breathing in love, light, and peace, and letting go of fear, judgment, anxiety. Imagine what peace feels like, how it's expressed in your life, how it feels in your home. Take a couple more deep breaths here. Slowly bring movement back into your body, wiggling fingers and toes, rotating wrists and ankles. Drawing your arms up overhead, coming into a nice full body stretch. Hug your knees into your chest, gentle rocks from side to side. Then make your way to easy seated pose. Bring the hands to the heart, chin at a slight bow. Together we say, Namaste. During this chaotic time where we don't know what the next day brings, it's very important to remember who you are, who you choose to be, and what you choose to align yourself with. I hope that all of you are healthy and able to move your body, and that you feel a little better on the inside and the outside.